This perp back with another video, and I just got done watching part 3 of the Genius Kanye documentary. If you haven't checked out my first two parts, definitely check that out in the comments below, or in the description, I should say. Man, first and foremost, shout outs to Cootie for putting this whole documentary together. I've watched part 1 at least 4 times now, part 2 at least 3 times now, and I'm probably definitely going to rewatch part 3 a couple more times, because this documentary is very special. It's very rare that we kind of get these types of documentaries, especially with Kanye. So essentially, to kind of break this down, this this is the conclusion of the whole entire documentary, the 3-week event they've been doing. And this picks up where the last part left off, where we see where Kanye's career went after his first album, The College Dropout. And I still feel like part 2 is my favorite, just because we get to see a lot of the behind the scenes with Kanye, which we don't normally get to see that, and just the process of how he goes about making an album. So this is kind of a combination of just everything from late registration up until now, pretty much. And it's a lot to cover, and I think they did a really solid job of covering everything, from late registration to graduation to even Donda's death, which was really sad and tragic. Some may say this is where Kanye started to go downhill, but when you watch this part of the documentary and you get to see a lot of footage of just Kanye and just how self-aware he was of himself, and just how the media was putting him out there, I feel like the biggest moment for Kanye in the public eye was the whole Taylor Swift situation, which people still kind of give him shit for. And ever since that moment, it seemed like Kanye was the villain. You know what I'm saying? And the media really did a great job of making Kanye the villain. And you can say what you want about Kanye now and just have your own kind of perspective. Me, you don't have to. For me, you don't have to agree with 100% of what a person is saying. But when you put that aside and just look at the fact that Kanye just kept going and just really never gave up, I think that's the stuff that he doesn't really get credit for. Because I look at myself, and just being a content creator, it becomes frustrating, especially when you got like real stuff going on in your life, and seeing that Kanye was aware of his flaws and everything, and just dealing with the death of his mom, just all the stuff that the media put on him, and just it's crazy that he just kept pushing forward. He didn't let anything kind of stop him or get in his way. But what I really enjoyed about this specific part of the Kanye documentary is Cootie's kind of, Cootie was a really dope friend and a dope person for Kanye to have around, and he's always kind of been a part of his life, even where there was like years where they didn't really kind of communicate, even though Kanye still kept him around, and he really always kept the people that got him into this position close. They were still able to make things work and still have respect for one another. And I gotta respect Cootie for that, because most people would turn their back on Kanye, or just say, you know what, let me distance myself from him and go ahead and do my own thing. And there was so much to unpack in this third part. It really tugged at the heartstrings with the whole, Donda passing, and it feels like, she was a really big part of Kanye's life, even like being a manager. And I feel like that was a lot of pressure for her to kind of deal with. Um, and just to kind of see where Kanye's career went from those moments, it's really inspiring too. Like, and man, it's crazy too to see a lot of these songs that we probably will never hear that he's worked on, and just his insight on certain things. It's very scatterbrained, but a lot of people are kind of like that, that are really creative. A lot of things that Kanye might do into the public might not make sense to us, but it makes sense to him. And I'm not gonna sit there and try to cap for Kanye. Like, if you don't like what he's been saying, that's just fine. Like, I don't just feel like you should crucify a person for what they've said, or hold that against them. And it just, it to me feels like when you get to an area or a place of where Kanye's at, like where you just dominated early on the production side of things, and then you set out to be one of the greatest rappers and you accomplish that, where do you go from there? Fashion. Now he's stepping into tech. Now he's worth billions, apparently. So when we see Kanye coming out saying, "Oh, he wants to run for president," I don't knock him. That's a crazy thing to kind of inspire to be, like, to the point where I want to run for president. Who's to say he can't? You know what I'm saying? People will just laugh at you though, because it's Kanye. They don't really take Kanye serious. And that's pretty crazy to me. It's just the cultural impact that Kanye has had on people, and just different aspects, and just him being so far ahead of the game. It's crazy that it's just it's I go back to just me. You know what I'm saying? I kind of look at myself, and I feel like a lot of other people can look at themselves as well through Kanye as a creator, or whatever you do, whether it be music, you create content on TikTok or YouTube or on Twitch or something like that, or if you are a ball player. I feel like there's a lot of things that you can kind of take away from this documentary, that you can kind of look at Kanye's flaws through this documentary and say, all right, I could do this better, or I want to be better than this, or I want to strive to accomplish this by the end of this year. Because I feel like at a point, like, the world has definitely changed over the last 2 years with the whole pandemic and stuff. So it's just, I feel like anything is up for grabs for anybody at this point. But also to keep the people that help you get to where you're at close, and get all that negative, the people that are just yes people, just get them out of your life, and just do you. You know what I'm saying? That's why my biggest takeaway from this whole entire documentary is, like, don't ever let anybody pretty much tell you that you can't do something, because you never know where it will land you. You might be broke one day, and then you might come up with an idea that might turn you into a billionaire or even a millionaire. Anybody can do anything if they really put their mind to it and just really strive for it. And that's why I really appreciate about this documentary as a whole, that it can be that inspiring. And I think a lot of people can resonate with it and kind of see Kanye in a different light. Or they just might still just not even fuck with him still after this documentary. Cootie did an amazing job of just putting all this footage together, and it was really amazing experience to watch. And it's going to be crazy to see where Kanye's career goes in the next 10 years, or in the future, with this whole STEM player and just how he's releasing music. Like I said, if you want to get my thoughts on the first two parts, check out the link in the description. Man, this documentary was awesome. But until next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.